Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ailey if you're new. Today's video is another 5 looks 1 palette video. I was going to jump straight on and do the mini controversy palette, but everybody is talking about it right now. Obviously it is kind of hot off the press, it's hyped up in that, so it will be in sort of like my next couple of videos, so don't worry about that. But I did get a request to do the Morphe James Charles palette, and I haven't used this in a little bit. So, and it's going to be pretty easy to do because there's so much choice in this palette. But the only thing I will say is this is not my favourite palette to work with. It is a little bit more difficult to work with. The big pans in the middle are great. They're just like sort of any other normal shadow, but when you get into like the colours and stuff like that, there is sort of little tips and tricks and little techniques that you can use to make the shadows easier to work with. But like I say, they're not really my favourite. I do think it's a beautiful palette for a more colourful look, but there are other alternatives as well, sort of in the Morphe range, if you didn't want to have to spend so much money and have such a, I mean, it's a whoppingly big palette. Look at it, it's bigger than my head. I'm going to do this the opposite way around than I did my last video. I'm going to basically do it one look on each eye, and then I'm going to finish with a full look. So we are going to do look number 1, look number 2, look number 3, look number 4, and then we're going to do a full look for look number 5. So I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to get started because I've been talking for way too long now. I don't think I'm really going to talk through this. I'm probably going to speed through it. These are not really tutorials as such. It's more just to give you an idea of looks that you can create with this palette. So the first one I'm picking up is Pinkety Drinkety. The next shade I'm dipping into is Single. I don't think I've used this shade before, so I want to see. I'm going to pick up Skip, which is the neon pink shade, and that's going sort of on my inner corner. Not inner corner, but the inner part of my eye. I'm going to take the shade Escape, which is the darkest purple in the palette, and just press that in on this inner corner. Taking some P. Louise base, I'm going to cut the crease. I'm taking Artistry, which is that stunning purple shade, which kind of is only a topper, but you can get something out of it. And I'm just going to go back and forth. You do get a little bit of fallout with this because you need so much on your brush, but I'm just going to go back and forth and build this up on top of that base. I'm going to take Love That, I do love this shade, and pop that in between the lid shade and this darkest purple shade just to blend them in, and then we're going to go underneath the lower lash line. And on a small flat brush like this, we're going to take Escape. Pencil brush, and I'm taking Face because it's supposed to be like a highlighter shade. Pop that on the inner corner. I'm going to finish up just with a bit of liner and mascara and lashes, and I'll be right back. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but with Iconic lashes, these are the Iconic minis, I'm finding the same with the Iconic lights. The inner corner just does not want to stay down. It like wants to sit straight. I don't know, do you have to wear them in a little bit or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below what your experience is with them, because it's not like it's too long, because if it's any shorter they're not going to look right, but it wants to like sit like that instead of like curving round that little bit. It's driving me insane because they're gorgeous. It just drives me insane. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next eye now. I'm going to take, what's the shade? I'm going to take Daddy and start working that into my outer corner. Can you see me? Okay. I find with this palette, it's harder to go light to dark. Like you can't just lay down like your transition shade and then work on deepening it up. It just doesn't like to stick to itself. So I always, to be honest, it's made me enjoy doing it this way. I like to lay down the dark shade, and then when you need help to blend it out, I'll pick up a lighter shade and go just at the edges. You're dealing with palettes that are mostly pigments as well. It makes life so much easier. So I'm picking up the shade Social Blade now, and I'm going to go for the inner corner for this one. Same as I did with the pink sort of thing. I think I might actually get another brush. And I'm going to use this green sort of around the edges of that dark green as well. I have this really weird thing, and if you look at me straight on, it looks like this eyebrow, and it sits really high and this one sits really low, and it's not. It's actually my muscle. I'm better at lifting this eyebrow than I am this one, and I literally, like, if I could do that, it would make my life so much easier. I do plan on saving up to get a Botox brow lift, but like if it would just sit like that, it'd be so much easier. And I was watching a Nikki tutorial, funnily enough, and she said that hers does exactly the same thing, so it must be quite a common thing. I've always wondered, because I've done it for so long, and I always thought, and still to this day try and correct it when I'm doing my eyebrows, I always thought it was the way I drew on my eyebrows, and it's not. It's literally because I sit with my eyebrow. For the lid, I'm going to do the same. I'm grabbing my Aylierosebusiness base. Okay, this is where the tricky part is, because I can remember this shade just not being as good as I wanted it to be. So I'm going into the shade B, which is the yellow one, and I'm going for the inner corner for this one. Okay, so I'm going to go into Guac, which is right next door. It's that sort of shimmery green, forest green, and I'm going to meld this in between B and whatever that other one was, Daddy. I don't know why he called it Daddy. Okay, so I have to go back into B and sort of try, and B just goes quite patchy, and it's annoying because it is a beautiful yellow shade. It just doesn't like to stick. It will stick, but there's this sort of powder coat on top. Okay, so that's that. We're going to do underneath the lower lash line, same as I did on the other side. I'm going to go in with Daddy and Social Blade on the lower lash line just to sort of smoke it out a little bit. And actually, no, will I? Maybe I'll go in with Social Blade and B. And grab Daddy. Does that just remind anybody else of Jeffree Star's dog? Okay, so we're going to do liner lashes and I'll be back. Okay, so that is the lash on look number 2. Wow, these looks are taking so much longer than my last video, just because the palette's a little bit finicky and it does take a little bit longer. So that is look number 2. See if you can hear, I now have 2 Alex drawers in front of me, and the space for me to sit in is really, really small now. I think I'm going to have to like move them out a little bit, but my chair now, because I've got this big comfy chair, it now rubs against the drawers, and you should see me trying to open these drawers, but it rubs against them and that's the noise you're hearing, just in case you're wondering. So okay, so I don't know how people do this and they come back and they look like their makeup's freshly done, because I now have a green eye and a pink eye. So I'm going in with a rusted. I'm taking B. Don't ask, this one's just all over the place because I really don't 100% know how I'm going to do it yet. Then I'm going to go in with 518, almost jigsawing it, so it's like coming down with it. And I'll intensify it eventually and just try to sort of lay down the colours first. And then what I want to do is with rusted again, because it's sort of more of a deep orange, I'm going to do it sort of to here. You're kidding, it's going to sort of follow the same shape. I don't know if there's enough difference on the eye between You're Kidding and Rusted. We're going to go in and intensify these now. I don't want them to be completely blended together, but I don't want it to look like stripes. Right, so we are going to put a little bit of Aylierosebusiness in the middle, because otherwise I don't think it will stick. I'm going to take Sister. It's a nice bright, it's kind of crumbly, kind of on my lashes. I'm going to throw on lashes and I'll be back. Oh, it kind of goes with my hair. Okay, so that is look number 3, I think. Can I count? That is look number 3. The next one is going to be something very subtle. This one is going to be something very subtle, and then I'm going to do sort of a very typical, nice sort of smoky eye for the last one. So this shade is sort of calling out to me, and I don't know whether it's going to be intense or not, so I like that. So this shade is the shade Mary. So I'm going to fluff this sort of all the way in my crease. And instead of using my P. Louise base, I'm going to use my paint pot. For this palette specifically, he did say use a base, otherwise it just won't work. Just the way it's formulated, you know. So I'm not cutting the crease, I'm literally just dabbing on this base just to give this something to stick to, and then I need to decide what I'm going to put there. I think I'm going to use the same shade, Sister. I'm going to go in with that on. Go back into Mary and just blend the edges really. Then I'm going to take that shade again and run it underneath. Because this one is so subtle, I'm not going to put a lash on with it. I'm just going to do mascara. It'll be a total nightmare to take off, but I want to show you, you don't have to wear lashes. I know it's become the thing where every YouTuber you watch wears eyelashes. And to be honest, my face looks a lot different when I'm not wearing them. So I'm just going to show you that you don't have to wear lashes to get like a really pretty look. And this one is really quite subtle. So I'm going to take Ring Light and I'm just going to highlight my inner corner with that, because it's quite a pretty universal shade. Although I do wish there was one that was slightly more, I don't know, neutral or pinky slightly, because this one is a little bit on the yellow side. Okay, so I've got my Kush mascara from Milk. So I really am going to coat my lashes quite a lot. This mascara, I love it. I'm going to get a full size of it because look. Wow. Okay, so this is look number 3 and look number 4, complete. Like I say, I'm not going to add lashes to this one because really you don't need it. It's just a really nice, natural, everyday look. You could throw it on for, it's a really good bridal look. You could throw it on for just work. You could add a winged liner if you wear winged liner, if you can wear winged liner, and it would amp it up just a little bit, but that one is just a more natural everyday look. And then we have the little more slightly more colourful look on this side. Okay, so final look, finally! We are gonna do something quite basic, but not as simple as like the last look that I just did. I'm gonna take No Beans. So this time I'm working from one side to the other, because when I'm doing a full look, that is how I tend to do it. Next, I'm going into 10% off, which is just right next door. And doing that just above and carrying on the blend sort of into. As I'm filming this, it's Sunday. Is anybody else excited for I'm a Celebrity? Or by the time you're watching this, are you watching it? How are you? What are you thinking of it? Who's your favourite campmate? I love I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. If you're not from the UK and you can figure out a way to watch it, figure out a way to watch it, because it is so amazing. You'll be like totally hooked. If you don't know what it is, it's basically loads of celebrities get taken into the jungle in Australia and tortured. You know, in an allowable way. Right, so I'm taking 10% off on a slightly smaller brush, and I'm going to pull that right into my inner corner. Generally what I would do is the darkest shade that I'm using, I put it on the outer corner of my eye and the inner corner. This time I'm not going to do that, just because I sort of fancy doing something new. So it sort of starts off in the middle like a halo eye, but then it sort of drifts off almost like a little witch's hat. Okay, so I'm taking that teeny brush again, or one of those teeny brushes again, which is a JH42, and I'm picking up So Good. One of them's like going off to the side, and the other one, they're not like the best. So I'm going to take the lightest shade, called James, and I'm going to put that underneath. Then with a smaller brush, I'm going to take 10% off. I'm going in with no beans and we're just stamping this along the lower lash line. Okay, so that is look number 5. Well, that's 10. 5 complete. This is a slightly more going out look, a wee bit more of a sort of on the heavier side look. This is the typical sort of look I go for a night out, depending on what the palette I use is, depends on what shades that I use, depends on what kind of hue that it's got, but generally I think that for my eye colour, this complements me the most. So this is probably my go-to look, this is my most worn look, and it's obviously, for me, if I'm going to have a palette that I'm going to use a lot, it needs to be able to do this sort of look for me, so that's why I ended on this look. My favourite shades in the palette by far are the big ones, just because they work the easiest, they blend the easiest, you know, like they are sort of like the better shades, the ones that get used most often. I suppose that makes sense. So that is 5 looks using the Morphe James Charles palette. I really, look at this thing's too flipping big. I can't get it in the screen with me. There are hundreds of different looks that you could create with this palette. I really hope that you enjoyed my little arrangement. If there's any other palettes that you would like to see me do 5 looks with, let me know. I am going to work through my whole collection, so odds are if I have the palette then I'm going to do it anyway, but if there are any that you would like to see sort of sooner, maybe there's ones that you're struggling with, or there's ones that you would like to wear over Christmas time and you want a few looks to be able to sort of get a wee bit of inspiration yourself, and you want to know kind of ASAP, let me know and I will do them first. And I think that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, obviously I would love if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does help. I do have a giveaway running right now, which I will put as the end card to this video. If you want to enter it, go over and watch that video and you will find out there. I'm giving away a mini breaker palette, a 350 Fierce by Nature palette, some highlighters, some Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks and stuff like that, so head on over there if you want to see that, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video.